We're live now, don't miss the score. Join the build, something's harder than before. Not just points, it's aligned and clear. Better leads, better teams right here. It's Lead Score Monday, you know the vibe. Fixing what's broken, bringing it to life. Showdowns, labs, and quick fix flair. Casey's in the hot seat, see you there.
On the road to better scores, let's build what actually opens the door. On the road to better scores, let's build what actually opens the door.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Lead Score Showdown. I'm Casey Hawkins, and today we're diving into a topic I've been thinking about a lot lately. What should you do with leads who haven't raised their hand but are clearly lurking? Think about the folks who are taking your courses, downloading your resources, maybe checking out your blog, but never actually fill out a form or talk to sales. Should we nudge them with nurture streams, add them to retargeting audiences, or just leave them alone and hope they come when they're ready? Today, I have my friend Chris Carolyn with me, and he's going to come in hot, I think, with some skeptical takes as usual. We'll battle it out. If you're marketing ops, demand gen, or you just spend way too much time thinking about how to move leads through the funnel, I hope we're happy to have you here today. Drop your thoughts in the chat as we go and let us know how you're handling those leads in Limbo. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing wonderful. It's another Monday.
Another Monday. Talking about lead scoring, your favorite topic.
Indeed, it's becoming.
It's becoming.
This one's an easy one, though, but I'll let you go first.
Because Chris, so to set the stage, let's say, just for the sake of the argument, let's say we have our complete ICP, ideal customer profile, filled out on this human who is in our HubSpot CRM, and they're a great fit. Chris and I do HubSpot consulting work, coaching, and so for us, this is a HubSpot user. They are a decision maker. We know that through maybe their job title, maybe through other things. And the company is in our space. Chris works a lot in manufacturing. I work a lot in B2B SaaS. So let's say they're right in our target, but they have not raised their hand. They haven't, filled out a I want to talk form. They haven't signed up for a meeting, anything like that. However, maybe they're liking a lot of our LinkedIn posts. I have some resources on my website. Maybe they've downloaded a resource or two. And so what's the right answer to what to do with them is kind of where we're at, where we're starting this stage here. And I am a marketer by trade. In fact, an email marketer at many points in my life. And so for me, it is very hard to not email them something. For me, it's a question on what are we emailing them? And that is dependent on where they are. If they're visiting some of my blogs, maybe it's a more resource type content. I have some checklists. Maybe I send them a checklist or something like that. Maybe I even invite them to an upcoming live that I'm doing. But I think it's a lot of that piece before really just going to them and saying, hello, I saw you were on my blog. Would you like to have a meeting with me and maybe sign a contract today?
Yeah. No debates here, it sounds like. I mean, I think we just need to help people understand what nurture means, what nudge means. Like, what is the goal with the emails and any kind of outreach?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it gets real easy if you say, since they haven't specifically filled out a form to raise their hand, they are not a hand raiser. Therefore, they must be either in audience or in researcher stage. What did those people want? in those stages that we think can build trust and create value for them. I will say that the hand raise doesn't have to be like um, explicit.
Mhm.
You just have to get outside of a pricing page. You have to build an experience that makes it so implicit when they get to that page or that thing that it's a very obvious, like, inches away from hand raising, right?
Mhm.
In my personal example is HubSpot in 2017. Uh, I was using Salesforce for a 10-person, $2 million business, right? So probably ICP. I'm a director of marketing and sales. And I actually, because I was in the Salesforce net, the decision was between Marketo and Pardot. And I went with Marketo. This January 2017, I'm going through the Marketo um, onboarding. It was not going well. Uh, while it wasn't going well, I was still looking into like, how do I do this marketing automation thing?
Mhm.
And my first entry into HubSpot was the Academy. And I'm surely I don't remember all the emails,
Mhm.
but I guarantee I received resourceful emails based on the Academy courses that I was taking,
Mhm.
right? So follow-ups, like just because we did the download doesn't mean like you don't have to say anything about it. But continuing to like confirm value was is felt based on the actions that were taken, right? Then on day 27, um, where I'm in a spot where I'm so upset with the Marketo thing, like I'm willing to put effort into trying to get out of the contract that I've signed with them. And I hit the HubSpot pricing page. And in 7 minutes, I get a call from a salesperson, right? But that like so much stuff had happened. Like I was thankful. I was so thankful for that call. Like if that call doesn't happen, there's a good chance I never invest in HubSpot. I never become a customer. Cause like outside that 30-day window, right? And that's where so much energy and effort goes into trying to figure out signals and scores like before there's very clear readiness. We could put
Mhm.
way more effort into the readiness piece and have all of our resources ready to watch and take action on these signals immediately. Like I guarantee 8 years later that I would have had a sales call like well before that. Like,
Mhm.
and it would have been a different experience for me, and I wouldn't have been
Mhm.
ready to receive it, and it would have eroded trust, right? Because that's how it's happened when I've downloaded NetSuite documents and
Mhm.
all these other PDFs. Like if I get an Austin number that I don't know, I know for sure it's a NetSuite like SDR at this point, and I don't answer it,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's the thing, like nurturing, nudging, like what is the outcome you're hoping for? And I think the difference now and what people have a hard time with, email is not the channel that it used to be.
It's not.
So just because you're sending things that way, if they spend all their time on LinkedIn, it's not a nurture, right?
Mhm.
It's just noise in the inbox that they're never going to see. So it would be nice to continue showing up in a very like hands off, here's more value kind of way.
Mhm.
But would it be better like connecting with the person on LinkedIn and connection requests that offer value up front, like have way higher rates? And then you're just in the same space as this person and it becomes this whole non-pressured experience that you will find the moments when they're ready. Like either they will reach out to you or they will people are making clear asks on LinkedIn now. Like I need this HubSpot consultant. And then like 50 people blow up the comments. So it's not like I just think the feelings that we're forced to do this activity because it's the way we've always done it is what
Mhm.
is the issue here. And I think this obviously this very much relates to lead scoring. If we're not sending them emails to open and click on, then they can't get scores. And you know, so meanwhile, we're probably not scoring much of the LinkedIn activity or social activity at the same time. So that's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
I mean, I think it can be hard. It can be hard to step away from like the old way. But I would also argue I can't imagine there have been very many deals closed ever from like resource downloaded and then you called the person and
Well, you gotta get lucky. It's just
yeah,
like cold calling, like maybe
it's
the 1 in 100.
yeah,
Like, oh yeah, I have a pain that you can solve for right now.
yeah. And I think a lot of times we work on teams where even in the best case scenarios, those calls are not aligned with what they actually even downloaded, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Oh, I saw you downloaded something. Cool. Thank you for paying attention to me. Like you have no idea what I downloaded and why.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm not going to get value out of this conversation right now.
Mhm.
But thank you for calling.
Yeah. I don't know if I've told this story. I a couple years ago was helping a client set up Active Campaign. This was in the period of my freelancing career where I used to say I would do your taxes if you'd asked me to. So I was setting up an Active Campaign portal, and we had started on a free trial because why not, basically. Um, and I was pretty familiar with Active Campaign. I was just setting it up for them, but I think like maybe it was a couple days after I had started this project, I got a call from Active Campaign asking if I needed help setting up the account. Um, and I'm quite confident it was a sales rep. I mean, maybe it was a customer support rep, but like it was a sales call. They were trying to make sure that my trial was successful so that I would end up having a paid subscription. And I was so like pleasantly surprised by this call. I didn't need their help. I was doing it. But I basically I downloaded this voicemail and sent it to like all of my B2B SaaS clients. And I was just like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we calling every person that signs up for a free trial and asking them if they need help with their free trial? And that's, I think, where you get into like that. I mean, that's probably somewhere in between a hand raiser and something a little more subtle. But they definitely haven't asked to talk to anyone.
That's where like the funnel, it makes no sense in that when we decide to designate a customer, like a customer after they've given us money, like I try to help people understand the whole experience is a customer experience.
Mhm,
So like that person could very well not be a salesperson.
mhm,
Like it could be a success person. It could
mhm,
be, that's why I think there should just be a customer team. Like that's a full funnel account person. We sure as hell should be reaching out to free trial like people, nurturing them. They have taken, like they have exchanged their information in some way to get access to our product. So there is a
mhm,
definite value exchange.
mhm,
And that's where I think a lot of like product led growth thinks that product, and sometimes it does, like does the selling, for you. Um, but that's like it's you're doing that if you don't see it as a relationship, like to build trust. And like
mhm,
that's why that person calls. Like,
mhm,
and the challenge I think for most people on that call are how do you make it so that we don't think you're just another salesperson calling?
mhm,
Because I have a very recent example of that I had shared in the Profoundly community of getting a connection request from somebody at a company that I don't often connect with very often. Um, and I'm like, oh, maybe maybe this is me reaching this other audience. That would be cool. And then I accept the request. Or actually, around the same time, I got an in mail, right? And he's like, hey, Chris, I couldn't find your email or phone number anywhere online. So I'm reaching out through LinkedIn. And that's me saying, I don't think you're trying very hard, bro. Like,
My email is definitely available.
this stuff is out there, right? Like, um, this is the difference. And like the company that he's doing this from, I have not had good experiences with these situations. So when he says, hey, I'm your AE for Profoundly, I know it's you're on a self-service plan. There's an opportunity to save money and get better support by moving to an invoiced plan. Would you be open to a quick chat to review your account and optimize your investment? And immediately, my response, my gut reaction is no, I'm not open to that because I know how these calls go, especially from your company and your role and what you're incentivized to do on this call. If he was interested in a relationship, I do a lot of content on LinkedIn, and it is so easy to get my attention in a valuable way uh, through engagement in the comments or like anything like that. Right. So just this different motion of this is the first time I've ever seen you in my life, and you're asking for the call right away. Right. So um, all the channels like need to be handled differently for one.
Mhm,
But two, it's like starting off, like it's just really hard to show up cold
mhm.
um, in that way and sound genuine. I don't know. Like
I
it
think
probably
it's
had more to do with the company that he's with than anything. But when you start off with like, I tried to find, it's almost like he had to qualify the fact he was doing it via LinkedIn and not
mhm,
via email.
mhm.
Because like if he has, yeah, there's like no chance. Like he tried to find my email. Like it's just like, oh man,
Also, if you're on a plan, I'm surprised whatever, I'm surprised your email doesn't exist in their system already. That's neither here nor
right? I
there.
guarantee that it does. Like they probably have a rule as salespeople that you can't reach out to like this is what's silly, right? Like you got different teams, like, oh, you can't just cold call all the members of this software because we know what you're gonna try and do. And that's gonna like hurt our sentiment scores when this
Mhm,
person gets upset. Like it's just all it all needs to work together. Like you have to design whether you're nurturing, nudging, or leave them alone, do it intentionally. Like that's the part that most people miss. Like don't do it because somebody told you you're supposed to set up a 7 email or you got to touch them 15 times before they take the next action. Like those numbers are maddening, right? Like it's the complete wrong. Like it's not a numbers game at the end of the day. Mm,
I mean, you mentioned the A word, authenticity, and I think that's, like I mean, I think that's the biggest piece. I do wanna, like, show this while we're chatting at least. So this is the matrix that HubSpot has out of the box in their new lead scoring tool. Um, it shows how high of a level of fit. This is the ICP. So in the example, like the thought example we're doing, we're saying an A fit. And then this is the level of engagement. And now this is supposed to kind of guide us on where we want to bucket these people, what we want to do with them next. So the A ones, those are going to be our hand raisers and maybe even those implicit hand raisers in addition. But I think kind of the hard part of all of this is figuring out what what a one is here. I wish it was reversed, but whatever. Uh, what this like hand raiser behavior is. I mean, it's easy to look at the demos, the contact sales, but sometimes it might be a pricing page view. Um, Sometimes it's going to be a trial sign up, even though that's not asking to talk to sales. But also, and this is why I like the new tool is I can also kind of look at different levels of engagement. So maybe a trial sign up on its own is not highly engaged, but if I know that they're a really good fit for my company, my whatever I'm selling, and I know that they've already been visiting the academy and doing a lot of activity there, now I can see those two things together and say, this is a hand tracer activity because of the combination of those things.
Yeah. Are we able to separate engagement types? Like, because what comes to mind is when we talk about no number of downloads
Mhm.
equaling like a
Mhm.
form fill. Um, I think you could go a similar route and talk about pricing page
Mhm.
or like specific demo videos, right? That they might watch. And if they watch the whole way through, like the only chance they would ever do that is if they were in the market for this thing, right?
Mhm.
Like that's where this score that just continually goes to like 1,000 if they go get certified on like on the whole HubSpot Academy,
Mhm.
great. But once it gets to a point, like we're not touching them. But as soon as they do this other thing, it goes immediate to the high priority like pile. It's not just like another going from 0 to 5,
Yeah.
right? It's like a hand raise.
Short
So
answer is no. Long answer is the way I'm building my engagement scores is to address that. So I'm breaking my engagement scores into 3 buckets: high intent, medium intent, low intent. High intent has a score of 60, a max score of 60, and everything in this is that clear hand raiser straight to 60. So then I can see if the contact has an engagement score of at least 60, then they're like, yeah, good to go.
okay.
My medium intent scores are 30 max. And then this is gonna be how I'm able to tell if, have they visited the pricing page a couple times, and that would kind of go on top of potentially that 60, but anything else. Um, and how important that is to you is gonna vary what the actual points are here. But the limit there is 30, and that's because the low intent has a limit of 10, so that's what makes 100. Um, and with this structure, I'm able to see the differences between those 3 buckets, and I can see whether or not they're ready for what those implicit things are based on just their score.
Yeah. And I think that's the key, like based on just their scoring. Like, can we just not do anything based solely on scoring? Like, because this is probably a super easy solve. Like, if you align
Mhm.
between marketing and sales and say, hey, we're going to send you notifications of pricing page visits, like in these various scenarios.
Mhm.
When you get it, you're going to click on this button and look at the score.
Mhm.
If the score is this or above, you call them immediately. If it's not, like bank it or, you know, maybe add any other context to the record. like that you've seen them on LinkedIn, or like all this qualitative engagement that can be happening around the scenes. Or maybe you were talking with somebody else from that company and they have a huge engagement score. And now this other person visits the pricing page,
Mhm.
and you can connect those dots as a salesperson in charge of like key accounts,
Mhm.
right? Like automatic scoring. It's an art and a science to be able to do that in a way that it's just like, here you go, sales guy, call them,
Yeah.
right? Which they want the context anyways. I don't think anybody who's supposed to call and then like start closing,
Mhm.
like they're gonna look for additional context, right? And I
Yes.
think that's where it's beautiful. Like you put these scores in front of them with meaning, and then talk through like these are all the situations. So we want to start sending you this notification because this is the best, like this is the implicit hand raise, right? And
Mhm.
here's why we all agree that we're going to take action on this. Very
All right.
straightforward here. Let's just get clear on the definitions and then aligned as teams and then watch the magic happen.
Easy as that.
That's simple.
All right. I think that's a wrap on today's debate. I think my takeaways for today are authenticity in your outreach. And that's true at every stage of your outreach. If they're just visiting your blog, what is the most authentic engagement you can do with them? Is that providing more resources? If they're just visiting your blog, is it authentic to offer them a sales call and just send them a link to pay? Probably not. Um, and then the second is alignment on what those triggers are and stages are. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If this got your gears turning, make sure to join us next week. Until then, nurture wisely or let them lurk, whatever you're going to do.
Live now. Don't miss the score. Join the build to something smarter than before. Not just points, it's aligned and clear. Better leads, better teams right here. It's Lead Score Monday. You know the vibe. Life, showdowns, labs, and quick fix there. Casey's in the hot seat. See you there.
On the road to better scores, let's build what actually opens the door. On the road to better scores, let's build what actually opens the door.